Right, hello guys, welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about some of the most optimal DPS setups for every class in the Final Shape meta. And believe me when I say that a lot has changed since the last time I made this video. It's been a good while since the last iteration, and given that the Final Shape has caused some rather dramatic meta shakeups, I thought it would be a good idea to revisit it once again and provide a comprehensive guide and showcase of what's currently considered the highest DPS in the game for every class. Much like I mentioned last time, the strategy you use for DPS is incredibly dependent on several factors like phase length, range, or boss model size. Even more so now with how unique and different the damage phase for the Witness is, which is why this time I'm dividing each class into two respective methods, one for more general bosses and the second specifically for the Witness because of how different the meta is for that fight. The rotations you'll be seeing in this video are also a good mix between hard to learn muscle memory focused ones and easier to adapt simpler rotations that also pack quite a punch. And trust me here, some of them will surprise you. Furthermore, because I want this video to remain evergreen, each and every rotation you will see is completely devoid of artifact perks. So that is to say, no artifact perks like Sniper's Meditation or Expanding Abyss were taken into account. So let's dive right in. But before that, this video is brought to you by Manscaped. And today, Manscaped have invited me to talk about their latest grooming and hygiene bundle, the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the Hallmark Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra electric trimmer. With the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, they've taken grooming precision to a whole new level with their next-gen dual skin-safe blade heads, now accompanied by an upgraded trimmer blade and interchangeable foil blade for enhanced performance. How should you properly use the new dual blade system? Start your session using the trimmer blade, then easily pop it off and attach the foil blade to get down to skin level. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra also has a bigger LED light and introduces a dual temperature feature, thoughtfully engineered to embrace and flatten multiple skin tones. The Lawnmower 5.0 features a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, RPM technology for top-notch performance, a travel lock for seamless portability, USB-C charging, a comprehensive 3-level battery life indicator, and the best part, it's still waterproof. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer that's also waterproof, cordless, rechargeable, and is once again built with skin-safe technology. Also featured is the dynamic duo of the Crop Soother and Crop Preserver. The Crop Soother is enriched with colloidal oats, shea butter, and cocoa seed butter to pamper your delicate areas and provide soothing relief for the ultimate comfort aftershave. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant is also the perfect instrument to keep the funk at bay. Finally, when you purchase the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, you'll also receive 2 free gifts, the Boxers 2.0 boxers with the signature dual pouch and the Shed 2.0. Think of it as a nice place to keep all your grooming gear organized. Head over to manscaped.com and get your hands on the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra today. When you use my code LLAMA, you'll get 20% off plus free international shipping and the 2 free gifts we just mentioned. That's 20% off plus free shipping and 2 free gifts with promo code LLAMA at manscaped.com. Once again, thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Okay, so we're going to be starting with Warlocks, and the first rotation is going to be a Star Eater Nova Bomb with Aberrant Action Parasite. Now, this may seem a little weird to you, but trust me, this is an incredible rotation. So what goes into it? Well, for starters, like I said, we are going to be on Nova Bomb with the Star Eater class item to give it that 70% damage bonus. As far as aspects are concerned, we're also going to be wanting Bleak Watcher and Helion just to provide that extra passive damage whenever we are dealing damage with our weapons. And then our 3 core fragments are going to be Courage, Dominance, and Ruin. Courage is going to make it so our Nova Bomb deals 10% more damage to Darkness debuff targets. Dominance will allow our Transcendent Grenade here, the Freezing Singularity, to apply the Weaken debuff. And Ruin will just increase the damage of the shatters caused by Bleak Watcher. Now, as far as weapons are concerned, we are going to be wanting Aberrant Action, specifically with the role of Ambitious Assassin. It doesn't matter what the second perk is, as long as you have Ambitious Assassin in the first slot, then that is all you need. Mine has Backup Mag and Extended Mag to get it to 16 in the mag, which if you overflow it correctly can get you up to around 32 bullets. I think it can go higher, but 32 is the minimum you will need for the damage rotation. Next up, we of course have Parasite. This is just for an incredible amount of burst damage right at the beginning of the damage phase, because if you can imagine, we have a ×20 Parasite and a 6x Star Eater Nova Bomb going together, the amount of damage in just that short amount of time is going to be a lot. Mods wise, because it is a damage loadout, it's not very complicated. I just have some holster mods here, targeting just in case. I do like running a single solar holster here, which just gives Parasite, I believe, 1 more shot and a few more to Aberrant Action, but the most important mod by far is going to be Solar Holster. Now, this is what's going to allow our Parasite to reload itself whenever we swap off it during the rotation. Okay, now we've come to the Enclave, and I'm just going to show you how the rotation is actually carried out. But just before we get into that, I do want to give credit to Chicken SI2, as he was the first one I saw to carry out this rotation, so credit to him. So for starters, this rotation is incredibly basic. All you need to do is shoot a single Parasite and then do a few shots on your Aberrant Action, and then back to Parasite, and just repeat. And the only thing that you need to remember is that the first Parasite shot is the only one that has a slightly different rhythm to it. Now, the reason for that is because when you shoot the first Parasite shot, for some reason, it has a different timing on the autoload whenever you stow it and swap to your other other weapon. So what you're going to have to do is you shoot 1 Parasite, shoot 4 shots of Aberrant Action, then back to Parasite, and the rest can be 3 shots of Aberrant Action. It's just the first one has to be 4 shots of the pistol, but everything after that can be 3. Okay, so in full, what we need to do is just remember to proc our turret and Helion at the beginning of the rotation. Then we would hit him with 1 Arcane Needle, pop Transcendence, and then as soon as his shield goes down, we would hit another grenade, then go into our Nova Bomb, then Parasite, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we can do another melee and a grenade. But anyway, in practicality, this is what the rotation actually looks like. Ooh, I think that's as good as it's going to get. I'm not going to lie. That was pretty good. Ooh, 4.8. Nice. It was good. It was good. This rotation is quite suitable for most bosses. The only ones it won't work on are the Witness or Crota, but he's sword damage anyway. But if you can get relatively close to the boss, this is a very effective damage strategy. And as you saw, we almost killed Greg outright with literally just a very, very simple rotation. So now we're moving on to the Witness section for the Warlock. And the first one is going to be Euphony. I'm sure you guys have already seen that Euphony is a very effective tool against the Witness. And for good reason, it is a special weapon for starters, and the damage on it is actually absurd for the fact that it is a special weapon, and the rotation here actually isn't very complicated at all. Your aspects and fragments don't really matter, and yes, we are going to be on pure strand, so like I said, the aspects don't matter, but you need 3 fragments for this. The first is Thread of Evolution to make your Threadlings deal more damage, Thread of Ascent so that whenever you throw a Threadling grenade, it is going to reload your Euphony, and then Thread of Generation to make it so damage you deal gives you back grenade energy, giving you back more Threadlings. Mods wise, we don't have anything specific like holsters or whatever, just go Triple Surge, and also a reserve mod if you want, a couple loaders and dexterities, the usual stuff for any damage loadout. And because this is an Apotheosis Veil rotation, we will have to do a little bit of ability spam at the beginning, but I'll just show you that now. Okay, so for this rotation, it's actually just incredibly simple. All you need to make sure is that right as damage begins, throw 1 melee and 1 grenade to proc an initial amount of Threadlings, then use your super, and then take advantage of Apotheosis Veil a little bit. So we'll do 3 melees and 3 grenades. There we go. And now is when we start shooting Euphony. So when our first mag runs out, we're going to use Thread of Ascent to reload it. So about now, bang, 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 and reload here. Then we're going to continue doing damage, and then just hold mouse 1. Very simple. You don't even need to use your heavy weapon or your special weapon at all. That's all you need to do. Yes! It's probably like 4.2 if I had to guess. Nice, yeah. Halfway between. Nice one. Good, good, good. So 4.3 million damage for simply just holding mouse 1 on Euphony is pretty impressive. However, I do hear a lot of you saying, well, I don't have Euphony, what can I do? Well, this is where the final rotation for the Warlock comes in for the Witness, which is going to be Cloud Strike Wendigo, or Cloud Strike with any GL that has Cascade Point and Autoloading Holster on it. Wendigo is the best here because it matches the Surge. They are both arc and also rolls with Autoloading Cascade. And because we are not limited to strand now, we can use Prismatic, which means we can take advantage of the same 3 fragments that we did with the first rotation, which were Dominance, Courage, and Ruin, alongside Bleakwatcher and Helion. However, this time we are not taking Starry to Nova Bomb, because if you use Nova Bomb incorrectly on the Witness, you can actually block the entire damage of your team for the duration of the Nova Bomb traveling to hit him. This is why I'm using Needle Storm, because it's a safer super to use and it doesn't sort of grief your teammates. You can get away with using Nova Bomb if you jump really high and then shoot the Nova Bomb at his head, but it's just a lot safer and easier to use Needle Storm in this case. Dominance. But like I said, because we have access to Prismatic now, we do have things like Weaken from Facet of Dominance, and we can once again use our Star Eater class item to improve the damage of our Needlestorm. Much like our previous setups, just optimize your mods for dexterities and loaders and surges. But in terms of how we actually do this rotation, it's quite similar to the first Parasite one. All you'd have to do is make sure to put your turret down and proc your Helion when you start, then pop your Transcendence, and then when the boss is damageable, do a single threaded spike, then your grenade, and then pop your super, and then start emptying your Cloud Strike mag. When that's done, reload it, swap to Wendigo, empty the mag here. It will have Cascade Point on it, so it will be a lot faster. Then do the rest of your Cloud Strike. Basically, after you reload, Cloud Strike is a suitable point for you to do a combo of a melee and a grenade to continue your debuff sort of chain. In practicality, this rotation looks like so. My turret just disappeared. Second row. Make sure to get all my bullets off. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, if that's past 5 mil, I'll be happy. Okay, nice, 5.3. I'll take that. That's good. That's good, yeah. So those are all the rotations for the Warlock done and dusted. Now let's move on to Titan. Okay, so now we are dealing with Titans, and our first damage rotation is actually going to be the exact same one as the first for the Warlock, which is the Aberrant Action Parasite combo, and alongside it we are pairing it with Twilight Arsenal and similar fragments to what we had before. Twilight Arsenal, of course, received a buff very recently. I believe it was around 20%, which actually makes it a very good super now for ranged damage for the Titan. So we're going to be pairing that with a Star Eater class item, just like the Warlock. This time, our core fragments are just going to be Courage and Dominance. Courage, like I mentioned earlier, for the extra damage to our Twilight Arsenal if we debuff the boss with a Darkness debuff, and then Dominance for the weaken we can get from our Suppressor Grenade. Aspect here are just for general survivability. The only ones that matter for damage are the fragments, really. And again, I have Grace to build Transcendence energy faster. Because we are using the exact same weapons, the rotation is actually just going to be very similar. Again, we are going to be wanting Solar Holster to allow our Parasite to auto-reload itself. Okay, so in terms of how we actually do the rotation, it is very similar to the Warlock one, just with a small change. So because currently we don't have something like a stasis turret to proc Facet of Courage for us, we have to proc our Transcendence before we start damage. Because our Electrified Snare will deal the suspend damage, which will count as a Darkness debuff for Facet of Courage to improve the damage of our super. So in terms of what this actually looks like, you will want to pop your Transcendence before damage begins, and then quickly do a melee grenade combo, and then go into your super, which is affected by Star Eaters, then into your Parasite, then 1, 2, 3, 4, back to Parasite, 1, 2, 3, Parasite, melee grenade again, 1, 2, 3, Parasite, 1, 2, 3, Parasite, then we have our Suppressor back, then 1, 2, 3, Parasite here, and then you'd carry on if you had more ammo in your Aberrant Action if you'd loaded it properly with Ambitious Assassin. So in practicality, this is what it looks like. Good. This is good. Nice, that was good. That's without artifacts. Nice. Okay, 4 mil on the dot. Alright, so now we're moving on to the witness section for the Titan, and this is going to be a Star Eater Twilight Arsenal swap into a Hazardous Propulsion loadout. Now, this is actually the only setup that requires a loadout swap mid-damage phase, but it's actually very simple because you do it within your super animation that is already quite long, so nothing can really mess up here. As far as fragments are concerned, we have the exact same setup. We have Courage and Dominance here, and Grace for Transcendence energy, and the aim here is because we are doing a swap into Hazardous Propulsion, we want to to make sure that we use our class ability before we fire any rockets from our rocket of choice, which is going to be Crux Termination. Any other arc rocket will work here, but Crux is the best because it can get the role of Reconstruction Explosive Light, and obviously because it is Arc Burn, it pairs very nicely with Cloud Strike. Another important detail here is that on the loadout you swap to that contains Hazardous Propulsion, you are going to want Focusing Strike on your gauntlets. This is going to make it so whenever you deal melee damage, it's going to give you a little bit more class ability energy, which will just help to recharge your thruster faster so you can get your dodge back and do another set of Exodus rockets. You could also put Bolstering Detonation here as well, but I just like having Arc Loader for Cloud Strike because it just makes it feel more consistent. In terms of actually how we do the rotation, our first loadout is going to be the one which has the Star Eater class item on it because we need to expend our super with this equipped to get the bonus damage, and then the one that we swap to is going to be the one which has Hazardous Propulsion, of course. Again, I also have an Arc Reserves here to give myself an extra rocket with Crux Termination. So in terms of how to do the rotation, it is a little bit complicated, so I'll try my best to narrate it, but this time, because the Witness damage phase is a lot longer, we are going to want to throw our Suppressor Grenade before we pop our Transcendence to get that initial weaken on the boss. So we are going to want to throw our Suppressor Grenade for the weaken, then pop Super, and then go into our menu, swap loadouts, and when we are done, pop Transcendence, and then start with all of our Cloud Strike mag. So we're going to empty an entire mag of Cloud Strike, reload, melee grenade, then we're going to dodge backwards, fire 2 rockets because they're going to be under the effects of Exodus, then back to our Cloud Strike and just continue. Going to reload here, back to a rocket, another Cloud Strike. When the Cloud Strike is done, we're going to use our abilities once again, then back to the rocket, then back to the Cloud Strike, and just basically use your abilities when your Cloud Strike is reloading, just like with the previous Warlock Cloud Strike rotation. And then whenever you do have your class ability, make sure you use it before you fire any rockets because you want it to have the maximum damage buff applied to them. So in practicality, this is what it looks like. This is good, I think.
Guardian down.
Maybe more time. Ooh, that was good. That was good. It was a clean rotation. Please be 5-0. Yes! 5.3. Nice. Good. So that is it for the Titan rotations. If you want to know a little bit more in depth about Titans specifically, I do have a video specifically for Titans up on the channel already that you can go check out. But what I have spoken about in this video is a lot of what I already did in the previous one. So don't worry, you're not missing out on any important details. Finally, we have now come to Hunter, and to nobody's surprise, the meta damage loadout for the Hunter is Still Hunt Apex. What a shocker. I've made quite a few videos on this rotation already, but today we're discussing the true potential. Now, the true strength of Still Hunt Hunter is all about animation cancels, specifically cancelling the Still Hunt Special Reload animation. Now, it's all well and good to use Still Hunt Apex Predator and Celestial Nighthawk on a Prismatic Hunter with Golden Gun equipped, but you can do things a lot better if you learn how to properly animation cancel the Still Hunt reload. And there are a few ways you can do that. So there are actually 2 ways that you're able to cancel the reload animation of Still Hunt, which is this animation here. It is fairly lengthy and it takes away from your DPS if you don't cancel it, so it's a good idea to do so. Now, the 2 things that you're able to cancel the animation with are number 1, your Transcendence pop animation, and number 2, your actual real Golden Gun pop animation. So to cancel it with the Transcendence pop, this is what it looks like. So you would just pop this here, and then pop Transcendence, and you'll be able to shoot it way faster than you normally would. And very similarly, with the Golden Gun pop animation, it looks like this. So we would pop this here, and then boom, and we still have Still Hunt. You don't want to be doing it too fast because then you will just straight up cancel your Still Hunt shot and you'll have to build it all up again. But it's whenever you hear the sort of audible, I don't know how you would describe the sound. It's basically when the gun reaches the tip of its animation. It's when you're able to pop either Transcendence or your Golden Gun at that point. So we can weave those 2 animation cancels into the rotation as a whole. The cycle that you'll want to be doing is you'll want to be starting with a single rocket. Now, what I will do is I'll give myself a bit of space here, but basically when you begin begin, you want to do a grenade into a dodge, and then into a rocket here, then start doing your still hunt, and stop when you are at 1 bullet. Now, when you are at 1 bullet, you can go back to your rocket, shoot 1 rocket here, then do a smoke bomb, then another rocket, and then back to your still hunt, and you should have 2 shots. Shoot those 2 shots, and then you will do your special animation, which you can then cancel with Transcendence, and then you basically just repeat that process. So go down to 1 bullet specifically, not 0, and then back to your rocket, do a couple rockets here, then your grenade and melee if you have them, which you will because you'll be in Transcendence, and then when you're back to your still hunt is when you animation cancel it with Golden Gun now instead. Now, that may seem like very complicated, but I'll try and give you guys an example. I also forgot to mention that we are once again using Solar Holster and Solar Reserves. Solar Holster is to reload that bullet back into still hunt when we swap off of it. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to show you guys the rotation while commentating over it. So here goes. So you'll want to start with a grenade and then a dodge, then a single rocket. You'll have popped your still hunt before that, bear in mind, and then we will do 1 still hunt, go all the way until it's at 1 bullet, to the rocket, 1, and then another rocket, and then back to still hunt, 2 shots here, then we'll reload it, cancel with Transcendence, back into still hunt, all the way down to 1 bullet, rocket, grenade melee, then rocket, back to still hunt's finished, reload, cancel with a golden gun, insta pop it for the bonus, then back to still hunt, continue emptying to 1 bullet, back to rocket, grenade melee, rocket again, still hunt, then we'll do the alternate reload there, and then we will shoot it, continue shooting, then back to the rocket, it would be rocket, grenade, rocket, and then we'll finish up the rest of our still hunt. Because I'm not actually shooting at a boss, I was not able to do the special reloads again and again, but when you see the clip, you'll see what I mean. Also, I did just mention that whenever you get your golden gun, if you can, if you're confident in your aim, do shoot it as soon as you pop it, because there is a glitch where if you shoot golden gun right as you come out of the cast animation, it will deal around 10% more damage. Because the Witness's crit is pretty easy to hit, it's very reliable to do this even from hipfire, so do just bear that in mind. Anyway, please enjoy the full rotation. This is good. Oh, this is good. Bang! There we go. Ooh, it's not quite as much, but hey, that's nerf still hunt for you. Still, for one person, that's pretty good. So there we have it. There is the top DPS for every single class in the game post final shape meta. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the rotations and learned something new from this video. Anyway, that's all I have for today, so take care and I will see you in the next one. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Your support means the world. And if you're really into the content I create, consider becoming a member of the channel, which not only lets you support me in the best way possible, it also nets you a whole host of awesome perks along with it. A massive shout out to these members up on screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, dear viewer.